Hey guys, Shakia here from Eliteeventsandkreations in the Facebook group SILaholics Anonymous. I'm going to do this video on I'm basically titling it designing a lace card or like a lace frame. I can't really think of the exact terminology or what that style will be called, but it's quite a few like cards that have kind of a lace. They call it like a lace card because the front is just like a bunch of squiggly lines, and it's an intricate die cut. The way it's cut, or like the doily ones are like that, to where it's welded to the outside, and you'll have the cutout pieces, but like all the rest of it is still connected to the card. So I'm going to show you how you can create that part of the design. I'm not going to go fully into the card design part of it because I am utilizing that. I am going to teach that in a upcoming class. But I'm going to show you how you can weld everything together to make sure that everything is welded together. Make sure that it's welded to a frame so that, when it's on your card, certain parts will cut out, but everything else will stay together. Okay. So basically it will be like this, to where, you have your cutout pieces, but all of the pink area is connected. So once this is in a card, if it was cut out, it would cut out to where the pink is what will be attached to the rest of the card, and then these will all be like open, knocked out areas. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to create that. Excuse me. Pull this to the side. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is decide on what size, card or frame. Even if you're doing this as, a heart, or anything like that. I'm going to actually probably make part of this into a heart. So I'm going to do it twice for you. So I'm going to come to the scale, and I'm going to deselect locked aspect. I'm going to make it a 5x7 card. Then you want to make an internal offset, and I'm going to go in by 0.1. And this is the one that you would really make sure that you overlap when it comes to your design, is this inner one right here. You don't want to overlap when it comes to the outside one. So you don't want any of your design to go outside of this one. You want all of your design, and let's just go, I'm going to go ahead and just change the colors on these. So you want to make sure that your design stays within, I'm not sure how well that's going to come up on camera, but you want to make sure that it stays inside the blue, or I made it purple, the bluish purplish area, whichever one. You can go past the green, don't go past this one. Okay. So I'm going to use this particular font. I already set everything up for time's sake. But for something like this, this is at 100. And actually, this one wasn't that bad. When I wrote, actually, let's pull this, and I'm going to write the word happy. There are some fonts to where some letters will be off like this, and they don't line up completely. Play around with your spacing. I found out with this one that it was 98%. To get it to where it completely overlapped. So make sure you're paying attention to your fonts. Just because it's a script font and it comes a certain way, you don't have to accept it that way. You can make adjustments to it to get it to how you want. Okay. So I think even with this one, if I were to, it was off just a hair. So if I come to here and I make it 98, now everything is pretty much lined up. Okay. So I wanted to show you that one with that particular font. So I'm going to move this to the side. I've already also gone ahead, and all of these are welded. You can see the H is not connected to this. So some of the things you will see here, I did ahead of time so that this video was not super, super long. Okay. So I'm just going to place my words here. You adjust the letters how you want, based on how you want them to connect or touch or anything like that. You can, design this based on your preference. You can resize them to fit, depending on how many elements you add, you can resize them to fit inside your box and just kind of play around with it and arrange it. I have my sample piece one here, so I'm going to just bring that over, and I'm actually just going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to send this to the back, and I'm going to use this as my reference for where to line these up at, so that I don't have to completely reinvent the wheel with this particular design. And day, and let me bring this over. And then some of them are, this is a little bit different in size. So I'll size it up in a minute, but just kind of wanted the general area for these. And the 2016. Okay, so now I can move this out of the way and zoom in here. Okay, again, like I said, you want to make sure, so I'm going to move this over, not outside the blue one, overlapping the green, perfectly fine. Outside the blue, not okay, okay? So I'm going to go like that, bring this in, touch the edge of the butterfly, cut that off some, and I want the Y to kind of cross a little bit more there. So again, just going to play around with this and kind of just get it to where I want. With this one, actually, I'm going to bring this open that up to touch it, and then for this one, I'm just going to double click here, grab the, wrong one, hold down my shift, grab the edges of these nodes here, and bring it over till it overlaps the E just to connect those. I'm going to bring this butterfly in some and shrink it just a little. So again, this part is just design. You actually don't have to make sure that, even with this one, I'm not going to have it touch the happy. I'm just going to put it on the edge of this one so that you can see you really don't have to have every element touch. Like this doesn't have to touch what's down here and something else. As long as at some point they all, like, it's like, 6 degrees of separation. As long as something that's touching one thing touches something else to where it will basically come around full circle is fine, even if it's something that's just touching the edge. Okay, so I'm gonna just put that one there, probably have it touch the Y a little. With the hearts, they're there. I'm gonna bring the day down to where it crosses, put this here, and then just kind of arrange the other hearts. Oh, please get rid of this center of rotation. Why won't it go away? It's still there. That center of rotation drives me crazy sometimes. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to bring this over and actually leave that up. Now with my 2016, I'm going to bring this up, but over to where it crosses on that side. I'm going to make sure that this one crosses over here. And give me 1 second. Hey, sorry about that. I was trying to ignore the call and I made a mistake and end up answering it. So didn't want to just hang up in their face. So I'm going to adjust this, probably pull this up some so that it's not covering it. So again, just kind of play around with it. When it comes to this part, let's see. This isn't exactly how it was before because this is kind of, all right, so I'm going to just shrink the 2016. It is not necessary for it to be here, but I just kind of wanted the 2016 in here. Only because I'm actually going to edit it down some. And it was just to kind of show different techniques that you can do. So I'm going to actually bring this down here, and what I'm going to do is ungroup and bring, and I can probably go in here and clean this up way, a lot more than how I have it here. That's very weird looking. And okay, so I'm not going to play with it. My OCD is going to kick in, but I'm not going to play around with it too much. Don't want this to get too long. And then like with this one, I don't want it to cross over the 6. So actually with this one, I'm going to actually just get rid of this whole piece on this side. And actually, I guess I'll get rid of this one as well. I'll just get rid of those. And delete. And I'm going to also adjust. Oh, I guess I could have left some of that one. I'm going to go back to that. So I'm going to pull this over some and then delete point. And I'm actually going to delete these only up until it touches the 0. So it kind of still connects to it. This part here, I don't like. I like the shape of all the other letters, but not the 0. So I'm going to cut that out. And then now I can double click on it and delete those points to where now it's just open. Okay, so that's pretty much, it design. You want to take the blue and the green rectangles and make them a compound path, essentially turning them into a frame. You see they both changed to the blue color. They're now a frame. Now, none of these elements are actually welded together, but once you go and select everything and hit weld, now everything becomes one. It's welded together. What you wanted, like this would be a nice one. This would be a really thin frame, but you could cut this to where the black would be like the paper, and then of course the white one would be open. Or what you can do if you're putting it on like a bigger card and you're not, like this part would be great to where, let's say you have a solid card, you'll cut this and then glue it on top. So you'll see the colors of the solid card come through. So that's like another step that you can do. Or if you want it to be a part of an actual card, I'm going to release the compound path. I'm going to hold down my shift key, just select in this area. I'm basically selecting that back section, and I'm going to make everything else a compound path and then delete this one. So there's just that on its own. So I'm going to show you without the lines on it. Well, without the, well, here we go. And let's make that a compound path. Selected the wrong one. And if I go here, I forget your name. I do apologize because I was supposed to do this sooner when the name was on the tip of my tongue. But you can see this looks just like the image that you got from the SIL store, to where this area is open. So that's how you'll get those open areas. So essentially you'll just design everything, put it all together. You want to make sure that, certain parts of it are touching the outside edges of the frame. You want to create a frame by making it a compound path. And then you're going to make sure that, when you were designing it, you should have made that there was some type of overlap. And then you'll weld that to the frame. And then you can release compound path and get rid of the back frame. And then this is essentially what you will use to build your invitation or card or, whatever you're making. Again, I'm going to go into the card making part of it in another tutorial, well, actually an actual online class. So be on the lookout for that on the schedule. If you want to know how to exactly turn it into a card, if you need it before then, just go ahead and send me a message and we can go through. I can go through and show you that privately. But essentially, this is how you would do it. Okay. So hopefully you found that helpful. If you are not a part of my Facebook group, SILaholics Anonymous, the link will be in the description box, as well as my email address. If you have any questions or video requests, you can send them to me via email. Don't forget to rate and subscribe to this channel. Like I said before, I do have my classes for May scheduled. Here is the schedule for the May classes. All times are Eastern Standard Times. You must have Skype and the most updated version of Skype to participate in the class. More information is in the Facebook group, or you can always email me for more information on the class. So until next time, guys, have a great one.